New hero ban PogChamp? What is this? What patch are we living in? Visage is banned. Guys, what's up? Welcome back to GESC Thailand. We got more SA Dota. We're in the upper bracket right now, so elimination's not on the line. So it's okay if you lose. Not really. Don't lose games of Dota. Otherwise, you're a scrub. SG Esports taking on T-Show. Winner is going to have a seat in the finals, which is best of 5 played tomorrow. Loser has to face up against Infamous and then play that best of 5 right after. That is tough, man. You don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be playing Infamous, period. You don't want to be playing Infamous and then play the winner who you just lost to in a best of 5 right after. Like, that is absolutely grueling. I'm Mike Loris, going to be your caster for this game. A little bit surprised at the performance of T-Show, honestly. That's not to say that they're a bad team. They've always kind of been around. But, you know, you have Divato Loco. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. You guys may know him as Tekka. He's fresh off of his stint on Sacred, and, well, he's on T-Show now, apparently. I don't know, just SA Dota things. So, getting a little bit of injected talent into the roster certainly doesn't help. SG Esports, you guys know who these guys are. I don't know if Pekko is Bardo. I'm pretty sure he is, but I'm not 100%. These guys are absolutely rock solid. The #1 of South America Dota, it changes like all the freaking time, but SG Esports are like always top 3, absolutely every single time without fail. So I mean, here we are, and I would say, you know, maybe I'm just a little bit down on T-Show. I do think SG Esports are probably the favorites here by a little bit, but you know what? I haven't seen T-Show play with Tekka on their team, so you never know. They're going to grab the Gyrocopter as the first pick, and oh my god, look at that 4-position hate. Night Stalker even being taken out. You can still go for someone like a Clockwork if you really want that 4-position, but for T-Show, they're going to say, screw all that jazz. We're just going to get our 5. We're going to get the Bane. We're going to get the Sand King. Probably ET, another one that's still really big and still in the pool, but outside of that, I mean, you can only ban so many 4-positions before it just doesn't work at a certain point. So, yeah, I'm not really sure about that Night Stalker ban. I haven't seen a lot of that guy recently. Maybe it's because it's always first ban and I just kind of gloss over it. There's a real possibility that that's a thing, but these are a little bit more commonly seen, I would say. Sand King for T-Show partners up really well with the Bane. Great to have those, the ability to get on top of a Gyrocopter and really force his positioning. ET as well from the SG Esports side, absolutely massive AoE hero when partnered up with someone like a Gyrocopter. Get a little bit of AoE control. Stomp is not exactly ideal. Something along the lines of perhaps a Puck, perhaps a Disruptor, some way of keeping the enemies in a area, and then this combo absolutely goes off.
10 seconds remaining.
T-Show, they had to ban out Dark Willow. I haven't seen Dark Willow yet. I have not casted Dark Willow yet. She was not picked or banned in the previous match on the day, and here she is banned, so feels bad. I'm pretty sure the consensus is Dark Willow is that 4-position support, but I don't know. I haven't seen any Dark Willow, and which is maybe good because if I'm casting Dark Willow, I have to know all of her spell names right off the top of my head. And I know what they're all called, but I can't call them as fast as I really can. Like Sand King, oh, Burrow Strike. Dark Willow, it's like, oh, there's the Cursed Crown. That's what it is. I don't know. It's it'll get there. We'll get there eventually, guys, if she's ever picked, of course. Juggernaut and Lifestealer, both 2 heroes that go magic immune, going to be taken out. 2 heroes that are typically picked against Batrider. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see SG Esports grab that one right now, but the Omni Knight is going to be picked up. As a hero that actually, wow, I didn't even realize he was still in the pool. Razor is not here, so dealing with this Omni Knight might be a little bit difficult, actually. They are, yeah, there are not really many good answers to Omni Knight. Razor is by far the best one. And that's why we see Razor banned out so very often, because if you pick up Razor, you essentially ban out a whole slew of heroes from the enemy side automatically. Omni Knight being one of those heroes. If you're going to kill off an Omni Knight, you got to work pretty hard for it. Rubik doesn't do a hell of a lot of damage. He's great at repositioning with the Gyrocopters. That's a nice little 1-2 punch there. ET isn't terrible. Get a little bit of base damage off of your Spirit, and you can just whomp the Omni Knight right in his face. But a pretty solid pick, honestly, for T-Show. Very, very low risk, very high reward. And there's really no way to actually get punished for picking up an Omni Knight if Razor is already banned out. SG picked Dark Willow yesterday. Well, there you go. I was casting yesterday. I couldn't freaking watch it. Feels bad, man. Never lucky. Never, ever lucky. T-Show still need their safe lane, still need their mid lane. And well, right now they have quite a bit of control. They really lack that scalable damage. Now, with an Omni Knight, you can go for really any strategy you want. Something like a Terrorblade seems like it's really hard for SG Esports to punish at this stage. Also going for a mid lane hero, they can, but they have the last pick, so they really shouldn't. Slam pick their safe lane. I think that seems like the most reasonable thing to do. You can go for like a Luna if you want to. Ooh, hello, second Pugna on the day. Interesting to see. Now Pugna, with an Omni Knight already picked up, says to me that he's gonna be going mid, and mid Pugna is aggressive as hell, because if you put a Pugna in your mid lane and you get shut down for whatever reason, you're gonna be really, really sad. It requires a very specific type of game style that you really get when you pick up someone like a Pugna and say like a Terrorblade, like these heroes that really want to take super aggressive early game engagements. You don't pick up a Pugna and then say, okay, we got the Pugna, let's go late game, boys. That just doesn't happen. You're not supposed to do that. So SG Esports at this point know what's coming to them. It's going to be an aggressive style. It's going to be a pretty early timing based push plan from the T-Show side. And they already have the Gyrocopter to kind of defend. This Elder Titan is also not too bad at stalling against this, but as far as hardcore initiation is concerned, SG Esports still are lacking. They could still go for that Bat Rider. It hasn't gotten any worse. I don't know if he's gotten any better. He's about the same as he was in the beginning of this of the second pick phase. Would be a really solid pick if you're able to grab someone like a Pugna. You can kill him off really quickly, first of all, so that's always really convenient. But also being able to kind of dislodge T-Show from their sieging position, that is so valuable. That's not something that Gyrocopter and Elder Titan can really do the same way. Like, if they are going to do it, it's going to be through a stomp, it's going to be through a call down, and that'll push them off your tower for like 3 seconds, but then they'll just get right back on it. They'll go for a Death Prophet, try to get that favorable matchup up against mid, as DP is, seems like it's just like a mid pick for SG Esports. Very, very low risk hero with this Death Prophet. Matchup versus the Pugna. I mean, Death Prophet almost universally has like 50% matchups. Like, she's going to be doing fine pretty much no matter what. Is going to have to worry about the Sand King and the Bane rotation in, but when you're with the Rubik, if you're able to get these kind of linking spells like a Death Prophet Siphon, a Gyrocopter Rocket Barrage, then it really makes the Rubik a lot more of an aggressive hero. So I think this is less of SG Esports picking up a mid and more of them trying to activate their Rubik with a safe hero that really can't be punished all that much. There's also going to be a little bit of pushing power from the SG Esports side. Not really sure how often they'll be able to really use that, because you expect the push to be coming their way. And Death Prophet at that point has the Swarm to kind of thin the creep wave, but it's not the creep wave you should be worried about. It's that Pugna Blast, and how are you supposed to get on top of them? A Silence is going to be really nice from the Death Prophet. That's always kind of sweet. But you don't really want to be working with some gigantic ultimate to try to defend this. I mean, Enigma, that if you are going to use a Black Hole, man, you are in a fight. But if you use a Exorcism, you're not always stuck in the fight. The enemies can disengage away from an Exorcism because there's no CC component to that. So I'm not really sure about this Death Prophet pick as far as SG Esports and this hero fitting into their own game plan. I think T-Show can play around this to a decent degree. And I would expect to see a Terrorblade last from T-Show. They could also go for a Luna that's, I would say, slightly worse, but still not all that bad. Really, they just want to get a safe laner that hits buildings really well. They can try to scale up a little bit into the mid-late stages. They have an Omni Knight, so if you want to go for someone like a Sven, you can probably get away with it. But, yeah, it's definitely the early game where T-Show are expected to hit their stride and hit it really hard. If they voluntarily pass that up, I think that's a mistake. They could also go for Lone Druid. He's still in, and that's actually pretty reasonable as well. It's going to be a lot harder to play Lone Druid up against the Brewmaster, that's for sure. The offlane select for SG Esports is going to be a hero that really doesn't have much value right now with this haze, but you cover pretty much all your bases up against potential last pick from the T-Show side of things. Get a little bit of extra team fight together with that Death Prophet. The team fight of SG Esports is looking absolutely devastating. Side note, you can also use the Wind Panda Dispel to get rid of like stuff like Guardian Angel and stuff like that, which is really, really useful. I'm not really sure how often it happens in fights, because usually it's like use it to dispel Cyclone and that's it. But it's something you can do. I believe it also takes off the Pugna's Decrepify if he self-decrepifies. Or if he decrepifies an ally, you can just dispel it off immediately. Again, it's kind of a micro thing that may not come up all that often, but it's still a nice little team fighting hero for SG Esports. Is going to be them lacking a little bit of initiation though, and that is going to be punished with this Morphling pick. Ooh, for T-Show. This is interesting. So yeah, the Brewmaster, what he makes up for in team fight, he really lacks in initiation. Like, he can jump in, clap, and split, and that's not bad, but again, it's nowhere near the power level of someone like a Bat Rider. And the Morphling is really going to abuse this. Now, the Morphling is going to be a Lincoln Sphere hero pretty much till the end of time, and Lincoln Sphere seems like a pretty good pickup here. Is a hero that can participate early on if given an aggressive scenario, such as in a draft with a Pugna. There you go. Really, really powerful with the Omni Knight. Get that magic community going, and with a Lincoln Sphere, you'll be really difficult to deal with. Yeah, it's a nerfed hero, whatever. I think Morphling in this game, when he's only up against like one stun from the Rubik and a silence from the DP, is going to be a really, really powerful hero here. You can participate early on, you can scale into the late game, and that is, again, not going to be T-Show going all in into this early stage as I thought they might, like with the Terrorblade or a Luna or a Lone Druid pick. But it's still going to cover most of their bases. I'm a fan of this. I like the Morphling. I, however, like SG Esports Draft a little bit more. I feel like the Morphling, as great as it is to seal up the T-Show draft, their draft as a whole is still pulling in these two opposite directions. I would have preferred, I mean, this is just me, obviously, just a hero that is really, really focused into this early game aggression, and Morphling isn't quite that hero. Not the perfect hero there. If anyone knows why OD is down here, that'll be great. Maybe it's because I ended the last game selected on a OD, but he's here right now. I don't know why, and I'm not going to click on anything else just to keep him there for longer, just to confuse more people. But I'm going to start things off with the classic SA pause. Every game in SA has to start with the pause. It is known. It is fact. But, yeah, I do think that SG Esports have a little bit of an edge here. Their lanes aren't overwhelmingly powerful over T-Shows or anything like that. But they do have pretty much matched power in the supports. Like, Rubik and ET combined with the Gyrocopter or the Death Prophet in the lane can definitely put a lot of damage to T-Show. And T-Show, they have to be really careful about their positioning in these fights if there are going to be early game fights. Like, Pugna, if he gets mixed up in the middle of the fight, he's a sad guy. Morphling, if he waveforms in and then suddenly realizes, oh wait, there's an extra hero here, then he's also a sad guy. So you gotta be really careful. Whereas for SG Esports, Death Prophet, Brewmaster, like, they have this bulk that enables them to actually get in and kind of be a little bit careless. So they're allowed to make a couple of screw-ups every now and again. Lots of lulls at this Morphling pick. You guys gotta remember, even though Morphling... Oh, I got rid of the OD. Even though Morphling is nerfed, it is still a hero that can do all of his offensive things properly, much like he was able to before, if he maintains the proper positioning. That's really the big thing. Like, Morph being, like, uncastable from time to time, that really means that he has to watch his positioning more often. He doesn't have a free get-out-of-jail card. And you know who else has to watch their positioning very often all the time? Literally everyone else in Dota. Literally all the heroes. Like, having a hero that says, oh, you don't have to watch your position, you just go where the hell you want, because you waveform out, you replicate out. You get, you can't replicate out, obviously. You get morph, but, you know, you get the attribute morphing, shifting, whatever it's called nowadays. That's like, come on, man. That's just bad design at that point. So, yeah. I think a lot of people kind of forgot that. It's like, oh, wait. Morphling, you just have to play him like an ordinary agility range hero, and nothing too weird is gonna go on from there. This was changed in the latest patch. I don't think anyone actually read the latest patch notes vis-a-vis Morphling, because everyone's like, who the hell will pick up Morphling? I don't know if this is... I mean, this is strictly a buff. I don't know if it's going to be used at all. If you pick up a gyrocopter, actually, as Morphling, if you morph into a gyrocopter, that's actually pretty sick. Like, you could turn on Flat Cannon, and your items are going to be, like, they're going to be gyrocopter items, so you just destroy everyone at that point. That's pretty good. Picking up anyone else from SG Sports is pretty bad. Death Prophet siphons are okay, I guess, but if you just siphon each other, then, like, you know, nothing really happens. And Brewmaster, I mean, he's all, in the team fight at least, he's all about his ultimate, so yeah, I'm pretty sure it's all about that gyrocopter, because Flat Cannon, I mean, Call Down is great and everything, but let's be honest, like, the real star of gyrocopter is Flat Cannon. Like, this is why you pick up gyrocopter, because he has an ability that's called Flat Cannon, and it's amazing. I don't think anyone else really got hit huge from this last patch. Like, a couple talent changes, I believe, but overall, no, like, groundbreaking things. I don't know why 7.08 is still here on Pugna. That's kind of weird. No huge changes outside of talents, I believe, for most of these heroes. And most of the talents are like, you know, we got rid of this useless one that literally no one picked, and we replaced it with this one that maybe one guy will pick that one time. So there we go.
Thanks.
And the only freaking change in this patch, the only big one at least, is freaking Dark Willow, and we don't even get to see her. Show me a little fairy girl thing. I have no idea what she's called. What's her spirit called? Is it like Twix or something like that? Hold up, this is important. It's called GESC. I was not very close at all, let's be honest. It's GESC. You guys know that this little spirit from Bedlam is GESC? His name GESC? You guys know that? These are important things to know if you're going to be spectating Dota. Because you're going to have that friend who's like, that character is pretty cool. No, let's be honest. You're going to have a friend who's like, that champion is really cool. It's like, what's that little thing that's going around her? You're like, oh, that, my friend, my League of Legends pleb friend, that is a GESC. And it is part of the Bedlam ability from the Dark Willow hero. And they'll be like, wow, that sounds complicated. I'm going to go back to my game. You'll be like, yeah, I bet you will. And that is going to be the end of your conversation with that person, at least as far as Dota is concerned. Quick look at the lanes. It looks like for the SG Esports side, it's about as you would expect. Still, I don't think teams have made any huge adaptations to the fact that Boundary Runes still were changed. Ooh, this Sand King moving in. I'm not really sure about that. It takes a big crit to the face. That guaranteed crit on the timer, which still isn't on a clock. You still don't get the clock. Valve, please, if I can offer an official change, it's that certain trigger time you see on the bottom. Give that a real timer so that Brewmasters know what the hell they're doing. On the other end, from the T-Show side, it looks like it's exactly what you would expect as well. Safe lane Morphling, mid Pugna, everyone's on the bottom lane, so it's going to be a party, and what a party it's going to be. Brewmaster picking up that Brawler at level 1. Yeah, he's going to have that one big hit. But outside of that, he can't really mess with the Morphling's farm until he gets level 2, and that's going to be a little bit slower incoming because he has a friendly ET in his lane. Burrow Strike lands onto 2, but you got to watch out. Plus 69 is on the ET. Theo, though, can't really afford to sit around and punch him. Already got hit a little bit too much there, and we'll have to retreat. All that spirit damage, and it goes down the tubes. Feels bad, man. Seems like a lane that T-Show have pretty well locked up, at least in bottom. For right now, Mandy is doing very well up against ADR. Siphon is going to go out, and that is going to do a lot of damage to this Pugna with these body blocks. A couple more right clicks, and, well, the Pugna, it works on a percentage-based system, so Pugna having such a low health pool doesn't really matter too much. He's going to Fairy Fire and save himself from dying, but, oh, Theo is going to die in the meantime. T-Tors, this caster sucks, oh my god. Can you really blame me? Mandy was challenging a Death Prophet to a duel in mid lane. I'm not going to miss that, guys. He's still 9-0 versus the 3-0 of Death Prophet. This is still a disgusting start from the Pugna. They get first blood. in the bottom lane on the ET, and this is ET's job is supposed to be, hey, I'm gonna muscle my way in to give Brewmaster a little bit of a leveling edge in this lane. And so far, they're both level 1 up against level 2 Bane. It clearly has not been working. Now the Brewmaster's in a little bit of trouble as well, because a waveform in will get the kill. And now onto Theo they will go. 4 for 4 is going to get picked off in the end. A 1 for 1. But not a good 1 for 1 for SG Esports. Not by any stretch. Even top lane, Tekka is really just bullying this Gyrocopter. This is the second time in the day that we've had a Gyrocopter go towards a safe lane off of the first pick. And then they just kind of get dumpstered by having 0 base damage. Like 48 base damage is really, really low. It's really terrible. So the fact that you have to work with that up against like any melee hero at all who always have more base damage means that, first of all, Death Prophet's going to die. Probably. Siphon 1 goes out, but I don't know if that telekinesis is really going to help ADR enough. Couple more right clicks, just enough to get the kill. And they will kill off the Death Prophet. Great rotation from the Bane and the SK. But yeah, Gyrocopter, I mean, you can maybe try to return fire to some degree. Unfortunately, Homing Missile is a gigantic trash can up against an Omni Knight, since you can just repel every single time. Rocket Barrage is a very similar spell, so this Omni Knight is pretty impervious to anything on this top lane. Now, of course, this CS lead isn't really like, you know, a massacre going either way. Like it's still fairly close, all things considered. I do think that SG Esports are probably expecting a little bit more success out of the out of this lane, this dual lane right here. Because right now, this isn't going well. Burrow Strike only lands to 1, but doesn't matter, because I'm pretty sure a Waveform will once again just straight get the kill, and it will. Posa's like, good luck, bro. Can't help you. You're supposed to be helping me. So Theo's gonna die again. It definitely seems like, I mean, ET is definitely like bread and butter territory for SA teams. Posa, is he just dead as well? Waveform, miss? Oh, lucky miss! Lucky miss! He got one! He salves up the second so he doesn't die. All calculated, all planned from the Brewmaster. But, yeah, for the Elder Titan, yeah, I don't know, playing this babysitting role, like, this isn't what Theo is best at. Like, this isn't your Night Stalker play. He's gonna get a double damage rune. He's working with an absolute shit ton of right-click damage, but it doesn't matter because he can't beat 2 heroes, no matter what. He'll stomp the Sand King, not even gonna punch him once? Dude, at least punch him once to let him know what's what. And so far the ET has had pretty much 0 impact, 0 positive impact on SG Esports game. It's had a lot of negative impact so far. I mean, it's only 2 kills, it's not really the end of the world, but still, it's not exactly a good thing either. They will rotate this Rubik around with the ET, and with the Death Prophet, as long as she has a Siphon available, and she does, we'll have a chance of killing off this Pugna, but Pugna very low on mana, already is kind of defensively fallen back here. Not really sure if they're going to have a good enough angle. They might. If he goes down these steps, he's just dead. And he went down the steps. So he's just dead. Here's the Stomp, Siphon, and Silence. There you go. A couple more right clicks, and Bane's going to arrive. Maybe he's not dead after all, actually. Turns around for the blast. As that Nightmare came in just in the nick of time. ADR, one more Swarm. Not even going to try it up against the Raindrop. They'll try to go for the Bane instead. Stomp, going to keep him in place. A little bit of Nightmares for the Bane. And they will chase him down with the Siphon. Another Spirit, another right click. Gets the kill on to 444. Theo tries to TP out. One more right click. Oh, man, he doesn't have enough attack speed. That Pugna, man, with the wand charges filled up really high. Just enough to get out of there. Feels like the Death Prophet, I don't know, it seems like that was a little bit of a greedy attempt there. Like, they could have just immediately dumped everything onto that Pugna and probably just been able to burst him down. I feel like she was waiting on the Siphon for a little while. I don't know. For whatever reason, Mandy is still going to stay alive, but at the end of the day, it is still going to be a kill for SG Esports. And it is going to get that Death Prophet up to level 6. Picking up Exorcism is a little bit interesting, actually. If their plan really is going to be pressure that Pugna, definitely want more spells that aren't Exorcism, either the Siphon or the Swarm. But picking this up means that they're going to kind of just leave this DP on an island right now. And if the Pugna rotates out, then his tower dies. So they're not really going to try to help her. That's what this indicates to me. Speaking of people that need help, that is a repel Omni Knight. That's not a purification. There's a purification. With a Burrow Strike, they will kill off the Rubik. Stomp does land on 2, but this is one too many heroes for a Gyrocopter to fight. Rocket Barrage is a lot of damage, but only onto one given target, and it will be focused onto the SK, but it's not in time with the purification there. Tekka is going to chase forward for Theo into the tower, into a Rubik. That's a little bit too much. And they will fall back. A Spirit goes out. I don't think it touched the Sand King. But either way, it's still not going to get the kill. And another successful rotation here for Tisho. They're just all over the map at this stage. Man, Bane, Sand King. It is like a real combo. Like that is a real combo that teams pick up in order to have as this powerful roaming duo. Oh, the lift up chains into the missile, into the stomp. There's a purification here. It's going to give a lot of life back to Tekka. Now with the repel. Gonna have to kill him with right clicks. Not going to happen. Oh, their best laid plans. Not enough. And now ADR, well, he's going to spring into action over in the mid lane. There is going to be a Decrepify Blast. Siphon does go out. Mandy's going to get silenced out of that drain. And now he's the one to get drained. Although there is a Morphling rotation. But you didn't see this one coming. ADR is going to juke at the waveform. Gets up to the high ground. Drinks a salve. And will be just fine. Even turning things around for a little bit more ghost damage. Trying to get a little more healing afterwards. Should be capped up to full once these spirits return. And yes, that will be exactly what happens. But aggressive attempt there from that Pugna. Probably at level 8 you don't assume that ADR had a point in silence. I'm not sure if he showed it off beforehand, but usually silence isn't picked up until like much later, at least until after you have the 4 points in your Siphon and the Swarm. But ADR taking that point of silence, turns out it's a lifesaver, and it got him a kill as well. The Morphling rotating out is very interesting. I mean, he got a ton of value out of this lane, but now there's no one in the lane, so Leposa is just free to do whatever the hell he wants down here, including, but not limited to, getting bounty runes, getting level 6s, and overall just playing Brewmaster. They should return down here like ASAP. You don't want to let Brewmaster sit down here by himself. That's just not good times. Tekka lifted up once again. The missile will be blocked by the repel. They still have a stomp. Sand King, though, is here to give them a little bit of backup. Will cancel that stomp, but Calldown's going to come in. Theo, though, is already really weakened, but it's not quite enough. They will just grind down Tekka. A couple more right clicks. Oh, the stick again is going to save him because Costa's too scared about going in that sandstorm. No freaking way. Tekka, what a god. And by god, I mean what an Omni Knight player, because that's just what Omni Knight does. Meantime, Death Prophet did get a kill elsewhere. Leposa is going to get drained out. Not quite. Gonna survive, albeit barely. But it looks like, what the hell? How, ADR just straight killed. ADR killed the Morphling. I don't know. I was watching the wrong fight, apparently. But Death Prophet just deciding to kill cores, apparently. I don't know. I'm gonna get decrept. Nothing off of that, though. So they have tried several times to kill off the Omni Knight. They have failed several times to kill off the Omni Knight. And the Omni Knight's still leading the Gyrocopter. A single kill on the Omni Knight can like get this Gyrocopter back into a comfortable spot. They still have a very farmed Death Prophet SG Esports. And of course, Exorcism was used earlier to get a kill. Dex usage will almost for sure kill this tower off. So this lane is a lane that they can't really afford to ignore. Leposa is bullying the Morphling. He's so close to that level 6. One more creep. You can grab that ult. Costa's going to rotate in. Huh. Yeah, they were definitely expecting a little bit more of an engagement there. You don't rotate a Gyrocopter like that unless your lane is at an absolute nightmare. And this lane isn't fun, but it's not impossible for the Gyrocopter. They're going to give him the lane and have Leposa go on the roam with that split. Again, you do have the ability to Decrepify, Dispel Decrepify, if that is ever going to be relevant. This cannot be dispelled, but this can be dispelled. And oh, I wonder if they can help the Death Prophet, because now's about the time. She needs a little bit of assistance. They do get the silence and the stomp. Lots of damage out onto the Sand King, but he's going to scurry away with that haste rune. They have split already. They will kill off the Bane. Not really sure if the Bane deserved that, but ADR is crucially going to survive, and they've also caught the Sand King into the stomp. It's not quite perfect, but they will dispel the haste, and now they'll kill off the SK. There you go. It's always nice to know that I'm not overselling an ability. Killing off two. Off of a split, they'll use the Exorcism and push this tower down. Of course, this is going to be Tekka. Free reign on top. Absolutely nothing to worry about. At the same time, bottom lane's being farmed by the Gyrocopter. So overall, this is a pretty clean win here for SG Esports. Lots of T-Show heroes camped out the mid lane in order to just kind of watch their tower die.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's
This is some very valuable time, however, for the Sand King, where he does have his Tranquils up. Got to start on that 2,000 gold grind for that Blink Dagger. Any couple of moments you could take to farm that up is absolutely necessary. Morphling, he's going to go for the Lincoln Sphere. It's a solid enough item in this game. If you can just block like a Telekinesis, you're already really happy. Blocking a Drunken Haze also is pretty incredible. As a Morphling, you're already water. If you get beer in you, then you're like, your water alcohol level is going to go off the charts. Like, it's actually just going to be like 100%. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Because that's definitely how density works. So it's okay. Trust me, guys. I'm a scientist. So far, pretty much dead even game, though. I mean, there are a couple of items here and there, but really it's just going to be for T-Show, this race for the Blink Dagger. Maybe try to enable Tekka a little bit, because he is really, really powerful with the drums and phase boots. 521 movement speed. Of course, he's smoked up right now. But he is an absolute monster. And clearly, he's invulnerable. He can't die, so that's always nice. They're going to get the grip. And that should be the end of the ET. Poor guy, never stood a chance. ADR going to get the silence onto 2, but can't really do anything because he doesn't have his exorcism up, and now he's caught in the degen aura. Is not going to be pursued, though. Kind of luckily for this Death Prophet. If they actually decided to go for him, they could have taken down that Death Prophet without too much of an issue. Of course, you know, I have global vision, so I know that. Tower will be chipped out. And this time we have SG Esports. Kind of camped out behind their tower, just watching their tower fall, where no one is farming the side lanes at all. One more blast, or one more hammer blow from Tekka. A couple more at least. Blast, let's kill off the tower. No chance for deny. Spirit goes out, but it's a little bit late to set anything up. And for SG Esports, they will just sacrifice that tower and waste a lot of time on their allies, on their heroes as well. Like, everyone is in mid lane. Understandable since they have the split. You typically want to fight with it as soon as possible after you get it. But, yeah, and the Brewmaster really wants that Blink Dagger. I mean, splitting is one thing, but getting on top of a Pugna or a Bane and then splitting, like, that is absolutely fight winning. Compared to just, you know, splitting in the middle of nowhere. Little Scepter's up on the Death Prophet, the Pugna. What if he's gonna get Ether Lens, or just gonna go for that Yule Scepter? Okay. Does purge silence, or self-purge silence and haze, if that's ever relevant. Only 2 towers to fall so far for T-Show, though. Not going super all-out aggression. I mean, as long as the Pugna is staying competitive in farm, I would say this is okay, but he's kind of struggling to get enough gold. And the way you catapult the Morphling up to number 1 in the net worth is you put the Pugna in whatever lane has the most towers and then just shove it in. I'm not really sure if that Decrepify was worth it. Oh, it was worth it. It got the CS. Well, there you go. And this is going to give another chance for SG Esports to get into a fight. Of course, this Omni Knight is still absolutely monstrous. But this is a situation where their lack of initiation is maybe going to be their downfall. But actually, no, they do have a Blink Dagger on the Brewmaster. Immediately going to split onto this Pugna. And he is going to get swarmed with ghosts, lifted up, and obliterated. They've also found Tekka. He is going to try to TP away. The ghosts do physical, though, and that will shred the Omni Knight. You have to GA if you're going to make that play. And it's hard to GA when you haven't leveled up GA. So the ghosts are going to get the kill on the Omni Knight. And they will defend their tower. This is going to be a very, very kind of defensive usage of Exorcism being used all the way over here. Ideally, you want to use it right here. Kill off a tower. So it's not going to do any structural damage, but killing off that Omni Knight finally is going to be a load off of SG Esports' mind, to say the least. Problem is, of course, the top lane, they have to deal with that as well. And this is not quite as difficult. I mean, it's just a Bane and a Morphling. You can defend that with pretty much just a skeleton crew, but it's still got to be careful because there is a grip in the area. They do have vision of the Radiant here. Does anyone want to help this Gyrocopter? Does anyone feel like helping? No? Okay. Okay, I guess they just didn't have TPs. Isn't there a button so I could check? Oh, they actually just didn't have TPs. No one had TPs. That's awkward. Sand King, stomped, silenced, siphoned. And that's a way to wake up by Burrow Striking, still being siphoned. That kind of sucks. Now they got to go back up to top lane. Morphling is kind of doing things up here. No one's actually stopping him. And killing off a Sand King is great and everything. Like, delaying his Blink Dagger, that's fantastic. But letting a Morphling freely take your tower, that's not really a good plan. You kind of want to stop that. It's such a back and forth game. Like, every kill is matched with another kill. Let's see if this will work the second time. Tekka this time has Guardian Angel. And there is no Exorcism, so he should be doing a lot better this time. There you go. He already did a lot better. He's safe. He's clear. But this push, once again, will be stopped here by SG Esports, and they're hunting for the Pug, and I can't quite find him. And this time, there is no split push going elsewhere on T-Show's end of things. They are smoked up, it looks like. Looking for a kill. Still no Blink Dagger, though, on the Sand King, but maybe with a pretty big opportunity here to kill off this Gyrocopter. No grip for another 10 seconds. Burrow Strike means you probably don't need a grip. Waveform, Epicenter, yeah, he's super dead. This time there is some help coming in. With the clap, they will get right on top of the Bane, and they should be able to pretty much easily kill him off. Yeah, they got him. It's something, but not anything great. Every kill is matched, but Gyrocopter being off the field when Morphling has time to farm up and complete his Lincoln Sphere. These are value trades that are being won by T-Show, even though numerically everything is even. Brewmaster, he's going to go for a Hand of Midas. Don't mind that one bit. Given the pace of this game, seems like we are pushing towards a late game. Given that scenario, Morphling is going to be an absolute terror. Really, really difficult to deal with the Morphling on SG Esports side because they just simply lack the control. They also will, to some degree, lack the guaranteed damage in order to kill off a Morphling. And Gyrocopter isn't really good at focusing down someone as durable as a Morphling. Like, even right now, he's only level 14. He already has 26 armor. Like, how are you supposed to kill this guy if you don't have any control and your primary damage dealers are physical? I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. Maybe just hope to God that RNG is going to give you a lot of misses on the Drunken Haze. You could cyclone him in the air and kind of just ignore him. That's probably the most viable way to go about it.
Radiant structures are fortified.
It's not exactly a situation that they would like to find themselves in, however. Especially when a BKB is the next item for ADR. This is SG Esports going double BKBs. Okay, well, the Hand of Midas is still being picked up by Laposa, but everyone else, all the other cores in SG Esports, they're not interested in Midases. They're not interested in the long game. They want to smork things, and smork it now. And it looks like this Exorcism, this is how you want to use Exorcism. Using it to take down 2 towers, that is just straight value. Until the TPs come, they can't necessarily get those 2 towers. It looks like the Rubik may be left behind here. Still no Blink Dagger on the Sand King. This is an incredibly late timing on this item. Stomp isn't really going to do them much favors. They'll just walk out of there. That was an underwhelming chase, to say the least. Right now, though, SG Sports probably just chilling and waiting. Get that next Exorcism up, get these double BKBs up. And this is going to be a really big chance for T-Show and for SG Sports. With double BKBs, you have a chance to get absolute map control, take down all the towers, take down all the fights, and find yourself with suddenly like a 6k lead. If T-Show are able to take those fights and then dwindle the BKB durations, like they still don't even have their max power yet. Like Morphling just completed his first item. It's an expensive item, but it's kind of a defensively oriented item, despite the fact that their generation and stats are really good. You don't even have the Blink Dagger on the Sand King, so they're not at their full strength yet. Although now they do have the Blink Dagger on the Sand King. Tekka, Yules into Missile, that's not quite getting perfect. Oh, let's look at the silence, and the Siphon, and the right clicks. He is still silenced this entire time. So much movement speed, but nowhere left to run. That's level 3 silence for you. 5 seconds is absolutely no joke. And Morphling is gonna pause. Exorcism is up in 30. This tower, how strong is it? Well, full HP right now. Shouldn't be the fastest push in the world, but I'm pretty sure if they want this tower, they will be able to muscle their way in. And they have the blink split on the Panda, so if there is gonna be a lot of reinforcements, it doesn't really matter much to them. Could we please unpause and play this game? Please? Please, game? So yeah, Omni Knight, a lot of net worth. Hasn't really been able to do much with it because T-Show have not grouped up yet. And they haven't grouped up yet because of that issue I was talking about earlier where they're just missing their real big core items. Get an item completed on Morphling. Yasha, Lincoln Sphere, that's fine. Get that Blink Dagger on Sand King, check. Now they can actually start getting together and start to use this Omni-Knight. Because up till now, Omni-Knight has always been on his own. Like with Pugna a couple times in the bottom lane, that's about it. That's not how you want to use your Omni-Knight, but it's like not even the fault of Tekka. Like it's the fault of the team and not having these core items to kind of match what the Omni-Knight has. It's opening up a lot of opportunities for SG Sports, such as the one that we just saw. Finally, we can actually play this game of Dota. Is he really going to read it himself? Are you going to do that? Morphs targets allies? Is that any good? I don't think that's any good. Dude, you're supposed to give that to the supports. Reddit told me you're supposed to give that to the supports. What the hell, dude? Reddit lied again. Tower will be taken down. Exorcism still up. Top lane going to be pushed at a relatively reasonable rate here. Death Prophet, though, is going to arrive with BKB. Fails to pull off the tower aggro, though, so the catapult and the whole creep wave still working away. Pugna, you gotta watch out. If you step up, Exorcism does extra damage to Ethereal? Not quite. Tower's still alive, though. This push will be stopped, so overall, SG Sports do get the upper hand in that exchange. And right now, with the BKBs, they want to fight. If that fight is around Roche, that's ideal. If near the enemy base, that's great. They just want to get mixed up in any way they can. I'd imagine now's about the time when they want to smoke up. Try to find any one hero, get them killed off, and then go towards Roche. Use Exorcism, and Roche isn't going to stand a chance. Is there any minus armor here? No medallion. Not yet. Medallion's pretty good. When there's only like one big core to worry about, Medallion gets really, really powerful. And there goes Roche. Let's see if there's any response here from T-Show. Doesn't really look like it. Manny has his hands full pushing top. Similarly, Terrence is on the bottom lane pushing that one out, and very happy to do so because he is a Morphling that's able to freely right-click a tower. There you go. Tower is going to be teleported upon, but you know what? Death Prophet, Gyrocopter, they don't need much help. They will take down Roshan and grab double life for Gyro. Yeah. Double life for Gyro. Here comes the Epicenter. Blink in, though. That's a way to show off the Blink Dagger on the Sand King. Still extraordinarily late, but we'll kill off the ET, get them a tower. And with Exorcism down, SG Esports may be in a little bit of trouble here. I don't think this is going to be a Rax push or anything like that, but this is going to be some pretty easy chip damage done onto this tier 3. Now, there is 90 seconds left till Exorcism. I mean, DP with BKB is great, but you need the Exorcism if you're actually going to use that BKB. They will have a split. They will force the fortification out. With ET up in a couple seconds, this is really, really risky for T-Show to be doing this. I mean, Death Prophet doesn't have her ultimate, but you're still walking up high ground into a Brewmaster, into a Gyrocopter. Shit's dangerous, man. Shit's really dangerous. I wonder what this Brewmaster is going to be getting next. Could be going for, that Solar Crest. Trying to neutralize that Morphling a little bit more. No. Okay. I was like, Ether Lens? That's not an item that Brewmaster gets. That just doesn't make sense. He's going to go for the disc. Did get slightly buffed, but I really don't think buffs on the disc are really going to matter too much for the Brewmaster. I mean, it's great for him, obviously, but it's pretty much a Brewmaster exclusive item. Got to make sure that you get that split off. You get gripped or something like that, you're going to be able to break out of it, get that split, and you have some guaranteed contributions to the fight. I think it's a reasonable third item for Brewmaster, with Blink being his first, so like Blink, some armor item, then Disc. I like that quite a bit, but I'm not really sure if I like this sequencing. Costa has double life right now. Here comes the Burrow Strike, Decrepify, Drain, instantly, that's the Aegis gone. And they're going to scurry away. No? Well, they're thinking about going for more. See if they could pop a BKB charge. Can't do that, but yeah, that's why you need BKB in this game, because you can get jacked up really hard. Dude, he's going Maelstrom. What the hell is this? Is this the day and age we're living in where Gyrocopters just go Maelstrom? It's an interesting way to go. I mean, let's be honest, Maelstrom's the best item in the game. Like, we all know that. It's not like he's up against a swarm of illusions or anything like that. I'm pretty sure there's, like, no... Okay. Well, he got... Did he get the Maelstrom? Okay, he got the Maelstrom. The Side Gunner just attacks, right? Does Side Gunner proc lightning? I actually don't know. And a knowledge. And a knowledge for real. Gale's gonna get jacked up, once again gripped and killed off. But ET is expendable at this point, so... It's a nice little pickup here for T-Show. If they can get this tower off of it, that'll be great. This is a really power farming build on the Gyrocopter. Most of the time, it's just going to be straight stats for the Gyro. This is about time when you want to grab that butterfly, but going for an Aghanim Scepter means that he's interested in getting a little more farm out of this map. Mandy trying to TP out Rubik in time for the lift up. And that should kill off this Pugno. With the rockets coming in, they will buzz down the spooky skeletal man. Take his Nether Ward as well. That's how you use scan, ladies and gentlemen. That is how you use scan. The Morphling is still getting real fat. He's got a shotgun in production. He's level 20 very soon, thanks to that book that he read earlier. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm pretty sure Morph targets allies is really bad in this game, but Ethereal Blade is pretty darn good. There is no pipe or anything like that. I don't think you can do enough damage to insta-kill a Brewmaster through disc. I don't think that's a possibility. But for sure, like, ET is just dead. Rubik, if he's going to keep Nullfield on the offensive mode, then he's just dead as well. Maybe on defensive mode, he'll be able to, you know, at least survive for a couple more seconds. But, yeah, Shotgun is kind of a finicky tool inherently. If you're up against BKB targets, you have a chance of killing them before they get a BKB off. Alternatively, if they see you coming BKB beforehand and you wait for them in anyway, man, you just screwed yourself. Death Prophet, level 3 Exorcism, ready to go once again. These BKBs still shiny and new. But everyone from T-Show chilling in the trees, namely the Sand King, ready to go in. Will be spotted by the spooky spirit of the ET. We got some serious ghost action, some spooky skeletals on both sides. We'll see everyone. Aegis has already been used up. Straight pushing into this tower, knowing that the side lanes are unoccupied. You're walking into a full 5-on-5, so SG Sports is saying, we know we're stronger right now. We're going to take this fight. And you know what? I'm not convinced that they are. They are certainly very strong if they get a pick off or if they get initiation beforehand, but this is where a Bat Rider, I hate to keep harping on this, but this is where this Brewmaster is really going to be lacking. You can't force the engagements with this draft on SG Esports. You have to just kind of wait for someone to get careless and then pick them off. It looks like Tekka's the one in the front lines with the Yule Scepter. You could silence him, but he'll just straight Yules himself afterwards, or just miss the silence, and he will still Yules himself afterwards. Stomp's going to come in, but Repel's going to block that, and now the Rubik is in a compromised position, but he will force himself out of there. ADR with the BKB is going to block all of that Epicenter. Now the Gyrocopter ultimate comes down, but everyone is GA'd. Although the Bane is still going to die, Tekka now is kind of isolated. He too will fall to the Rockets. As the Ghosts are going to divide Mandy from the rest of his team, he's going to try to self-decryptify and run the hell out of there, but it's not going to happen. He too will fall. SG Esports separating the fight with those BKBs, proving to be too much for T-Show, will win the fight easily and take this tower and maybe go for a little bit more, actually. ADR is kind of banged up, so he's got to be a little bit careful here, but his Ghosts are going to be turning very soon. Repel has been stolen, and this Ghost return should give him about a full heal. Stomp will be a little bit off the mark, but DP, though ready to fight health-wise, has still got to go. ET is going to get pinged out of his TP. He will be going down as the Sand King looking for a little bit more. Will not know that there's Brewmaster up there. Will not see the Rubik either. No way. Is he just going to sit here and live? No way. What a juke. Sometimes the simplest thing to do is just go into the trees and stay there. Words of wisdom forever. What lineup would Morph can target a teammate would be good? That's an interesting question. Morphling's going to be going towards a safe lane, so it'll have to be a mid lane hero or an off lane hero. Someone like an SF with raises can do a hell of a lot of work. Who's viable? Who's viable in the mid lane? You can do Quap, you can do a lot of work with Quap, but ideally you want to go towards those agility heroes. I don't know, can you do Morphling PL? Is there any conceivable world where that's a possibility? Probably not. Got a Tiny. Morph into a Tiny, that's great. There are definitely opportunities where it's really, really powerful. He picked it up this time. He picked it up. So far he hasn't used it. We'll see if it does anything. The Madman. But yeah, that fight for SG Esports, two things went pretty poorly there from T-Show. First of all, I mean, they looked like they were going to get an angle on the Rubik, and that was pretty reasonable, but the Sand King tried to get the Death Prophet by himself, and that just isn't going to happen. The Gyrocopter was in the middle of the fight with the BKB turned on, and once that happens, like, you have to have the Morphling focus him or nobody. And if the Morphling isn't on the Gyrocopter, you have to fall back. Because at this point, with the Maelstrom and the Aghanim Scepter, like, he's just doing so much damage simply by being in the midst of the fight. So T-Show, I think, by separating and by opting to go for the Death Prophet instead of that Gyrocopter, I think that may have screwed them. You have to be able to land a grip on someone or, you know, burrow strike into shotgun combo someone, and that just didn't happen. And they're going to run into a Pugna. Draining Centaurs. That means Life Drain is on cooldown for 20 seconds. Is going to see this one coming, but the scan goes red. Once again, SG Esports using the scan for what it's designed to do. Mandy TP's out. I think he's fine. He is okay. That's just one fight earlier from SG Esports that's going to get them a tower. Right now, they're just chilling for another minute. Wait for that Roche fight over it once again. Morph into allies could be really good with a Pugna if you're sitting right here and sieging. You don't really want to be doing that in a fight, though. I don't think. If Radiant stacked, that would be pretty sick. Terrence gonna go for the BKB. So far, no huge impacts from this Morphling in the midst of these fights. Once he gets BKB, it'll be a lot easier. Ooh, Decrepify. He still has that disc. No real way to burst down and pick off a Brewmaster once he picks that up. And now here comes the missile. Will be blocked by the repel. Turn and face it like a man. Just jockeying for position right now. Top lane shoved in. Bottom lane looks like that with 3 range creep is going to be going in towards the Dire side of the base. So they have to tend to that. They can't just immediately go into Roche. Unless they get a pick off beforehand. And this looks like their attempt at a pick off beforehand. Pugna has a lot of backup here. We're looking at a cataclysmic engagement. Pugna's the only one on the map who is not smoked up. Right now, SG Esports jockeying for the high ground. The smoke's going to be blown on both sides. Brewmaster's going to jump right and get the split off, and ADR's right in the middle with the Exorcism as well. There's a really good initiation there from SG Esports. The Epicenter does absolutely nothing. They'll lose the Pugna and the Sand King immediately. And now go straight into Roche, failing to find any additional targets. Brewmaster, what's this? The Storm aspect, just messing with that Omni Knight. They are going to go straight towards Roche and kill him off as well. BKB charges, though, are being used. That's 8 and 8 on both Costa and ADR. They are going to get the cheese. They are going to get the Aegis. And these BKBs are paying for themselves so many times over currently. As long as they keep this pressure up, they can't sit back and let this Morphling keep farming. Because they are just going to naturally fall behind if that type of game state ever comes around. Going into the tier 2 now should be pretty easy pickings. Look at all these. You can see like the little side gunner shots. Additional bullets flying in. It's kind of cute. Of course, now it's time to tend to their side lanes. Bottom and top. Kind of a messy situation there. Unfortunate. Oh my god. Well. Dude, when did you ever think you would see this? Do you ever think in Dota you would see Morphling's Omni Knight cooldown? That's actually pretty cool. That's actually sick because of the fact that you could toggle back and forth now. I didn't think about that. Like, obviously you don't want to stay as an Omni Knight. But if you morph into an Omni Knight, repel, purify yourself, morph out into a Morphling, and then go kill more things, and then morph back into an Omni Knight, that's actually pretty nasty. I did not consider that change with the morph target's allies. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Smoke up real deep here for T-Show. Exorcism still 30 seconds off, but this is fighting into Aegis Cheese, and oh, the circle! The circle from ADR perfectly drawn over where T-Show are. They've got the reads. This is freaking children's book. This is Goodnight Moon. This is Dr. Seuss. Like, they are reading T-Show so well right now. It's called Goodnight Moon, right? Like the one with the, like, Goodnight Moon, Goodnight Star. I don't know what it's called. I'm pretty sure it's called Goodnight Moon. I'm also not sure if that's just an American children's book. I don't know. Where are you guys from? Maybe you have different children's books. Dude, this Rubik obnoxiously cutting the wave. Fails to kill off the siege creeps, obviously, but man, that move from T-Show absolutely stopped cold, and now SG Esports, they have another Exorcism. They have a fresh Octarine on the Death Prophet, so durability now for her off the charts. Plus 500 HP certainly doesn't hurt. 2,700 you have to grind through. What does the Gyrocopter have? Yeah, he's got some serious fat coming out on him as well. He's gonna grab that Satanic. Should be grabbing the Satanic. Not heading currently to grab the Satanic, but he'll get there eventually, I'm sure. Yeah, they have themselves some serious assets. On the other end, I mean, Radiance, Blink Dagger, Omni Knight, I mean, these are all good items to have. But this is the real problem with what I had with T-Show's draft, is that if you do push yourself into a late game, Morphling's going to be a monster. Everyone else, not really as much so. So now we're kind of seeing that impact. Like Pugna, he's not farmed incredibly well. He doesn't have an Aghanim Scepter. He can't really do all that much. Omni Knight, as much farm as he has, like, he's only an Omni Knight at the end of the day, and they are severely limited in what they can actually do. Fortunately, though, for T-Show, they will dodge this smoke. Could have been really bad for them. Boom! Creep wave down. And the push is on top lane. We have the pings out over in mid. Wave being shoved in by Morphling Illusions. We'll get to that tower pretty quickly. But they can't really afford to let this push happen for free from SG Esports. They gotta come back and try to get on top of this. But it's so hard. You can't insta-kill a Death Prophet with shotgun. You just don't do enough damage. The Exorcism Ghosts are going to do so much damage. Bane forced all the way back to the fountain. That is silence used. And it's going to be back very soon, though, thanks to that cooldown reduction. Looks like Split was used in the background. Did they cancel Pugna's TP? They did. Oh, no, that is not good. Tekka is going to be lifted up in the middle of the fight. Yeah, that is Tekka, not Terrence. He's also an Omni Knight. Now he's pushing forward with GA, but no one's really doing any damage right now. ADR is trying to leave, and he will do just that. Maybe they get the Rubik here if they find him. Lincoln Sphere, unfortunately, is going to block that spell steal, so you can't grab Waveform. They walk in, take melee racks, they walk out. Conservative play here from SG Esports. They still have the Aegis, they should still have the cheese, and they do. Structural damage in mid lane, negligible. Nothing but a clean win there for SG Esports, and still T-Show really struggling to get their teeth into a real fight. I want to see this Morphling, damn it. I want to see him do some pretty obnoxious things. Random stomp to kill the creep wave also hits onto Mandy. Totally planned by Theo. Now, fortunately for T-Show, they have outlasted the Aegis. Trying to pop the disc, but it's already been popped. The combo breaker. So he's just gonna piece out back into the base. Has a blink sheepstick. Terrence has the Omni Knight morphed up. He's got the DNA inside of him. That's definitely how it works. That Ethereal Blade did a hell of a lot of nothing, and Terrence just gotta bail. He's gonna be able to heal himself and, you know, get back in there, and they are gonna pop the disc one more time. So Brewmaster is now somewhat killable. But are they really gonna sit here and try to siege? I don't really see that being a winning game state here for T-Show. They gotta find a kill, and you're not gonna find a kill unless you blindly blink up the high ground as that Sand King. And even then, you gotta fortunately blind blink into a Death Prophet and a Gyrocopter and stun them both before they can BKB. That's never gonna happen. Morphling is still very powerful, but again, just the lack of fights absolutely killing him. Got that waveform charge. Mobility now off the charts for the Morphling. But he's the only one. His allies, they have to just try to not die for as long as possible. Give that Morphling some time to right-click really anyone. But that's at a point where you're worried about Cyclone, Drunken Haze, Scythe of Vice. This Brewmaster's, I mean, tailor-made to shut down drafts that rely on that one hero to do everything. Exactly like this. You just stop him, Cyclone him, Sheep Stick him, whatever. No one else on T-Show can really do much to help out there. Except for, you know, have the repels up beforehand. Repel's cooldown is, I mean, it's downtime though, it's pretty significant. You can't perma-keep repel on someone. This isn't 6.8 whatever where that was viable. Here come the ghosts. ADR, she's gonna start shredding that tower. And well, Epicenter is in. BKB comes up from Costa. They do land the Burrow Strike on ADR, but there's no follow-up. Once again, the Morphling is late to the party. Tries to go for the Rubik, but he has Repel on him and that extra magic resistance, so he's going to take pretty much no damage from that. The split is out. Tech with the BKB is on the run. So far, no one has died from T-Show, and that's not all that bad, but their buildings are going to die instead. That is bad. They can't do much to stop this. The Nightmare goes off onto the Gyrocopter. He still has Satanic available. They'll walk in, take racks, and walk out. This time with absolutely no casualties. Oh, no. Maybe they'll catch the Rubik. There's a gem on the Sand King, so... Oh, Burrow Strike stolen on the Rubik. He's got to run, though. I don't think this is happening, bro. Yeah, he's dead. But there is a pipe somewhere here. Yeah, pipe on the Elder Titan. That barrier combined with the Null Field, combined with the Glimmer Cape. How much magic resistance does he have right now? 42? I don't know if that takes into account Null Field. We'll check again when he's alive, but... Rubik is really, really durable to magic damage as long as they have the barrier up. They will catch Costa, though. 10 seconds left till he has his BKB, but the Dual Scepter will stop the Omni Knight in his tracks. He's going to push forward, but he can't do anything here. That's 1.5 racks for SG Esports. And T-Show, once again, going to knock on the front door knowing that Exorcism is down. And the Rubik is obviously down, but can they actually do anything here? That's the big question. Missile coming in. Omni Knight timer is there. Mandy's gonna jump blink in and just get himself shredded. What was that? Mandy, what are you doing, bro? A couple more right clicks and he's just dead. In the meantime, Sand King and Morphling silence and both driven away. Mandy's gonna get chased down by the Gyrocopter. You cannot outrun agility heroes at this stage in the game. I don't know what that was. He blinked in and just got himself killed. Like, he's not a durable hero right now. Oh, Morphling. Oh no, Morphling. Bet he wishes he could Strength Morph now. He will finally start. There's an adaptive into ADR's face. The back line, Tekka's going to start cutting the wave. TP out. Repel stolen. The Creep Wave is still alive. The fact that ADR can just double Crypt Swarm, kill off the Creep Wave, and got lightning everywhere, and a double damage rune on the Gyrocopter. Oh no, this might be game end here for T-Show. Because SG Esports are moving in, and they are... hungry for some blood. Terrence is going to heal himself as much as he can. He's going to resume his main form, but the Exorcism Ghosts still will do their damage. Epicenter does come in. This time, Gyrocopter doesn't get his BKB off. He has Satanic. Can he get it off? He will lifesteal a little bit, not quite enough. But it doesn't matter because ADR is just so stacked at this stage. The Ghosts are shredding everyone. Tekka will have a chance to blink out. They'll shotgun the Elder Titan, but the pipe does still hold strong. Another Burrow Strike onto 2. Once again, the Brewmaster in trouble, though he will be able to split out. Gyrocopter's still down. It's a lot of the damage for SG Sports down the drain, but they will be able to take the tower still and fall back. Can they chase down for this Earth aspect? You can grip it if you had grip, which he doesn't. Blink out immediately, Brewmaster. Watch out, stuns the Sand King to run the Burrow Strike, and he just gets caught. Liposa down, Gyro down, Exorcism down. Can T-Show do anything off of this? Top lane is still being defended. Very surprised that Range Rax is actually still alive. But the one time Gyrocopter doesn't get his BKB off and he gets hit with the Burrow Strike Epicenter, seems like that's always how it goes, right? Well, it's hard to push if you don't have a Creep Wave. They are still going to assemble the troops over in mid. Backdoor protection. Got close enough to turn it off. Even if they take this 1 Rax, it's 1 Rax compared to the 2 that they've already lost. Bot is in full breach at the moment. Dude, it is so confusing to see these Omni Knights running around. Like, everyone's magic immune getting purified and shit. It's crazy. Sacrifice this. Who cares? They're going to find the Elder Titan. He is going to get that barrier off, though, and he's not going to die. They do put the Rubik to sleep, but he's stolen grip. And now Laposa, oh, with the grip. That's onto the Omni Knight. Is that the real Omni Knight? It looks like it might just be. Tekka is in a lot of trouble right now. He's going to fall into a call down or just a Fade Bolt. That's good too. Everyone else now on T-Show on full retreat as Costa is pushing forward. They are going to see a Sand King, may be able to catch up to him with the Yule Scepter. There's a chance. He's silenced. Gives him a juke attempt. Blinks up to the high ground, but oh, the Death Prophet wants in. Swarm not going to hit onto anyone. Does pop the BKB. It's 5 seconds at this stage, and with that Siphon giving him the slow, they should have the Sand King in the bag. That's the gem being turned over as well. Exorcism still up. Gyrocopter still up. Did not have to buy back there. There is no buyback on the Sand King. That is the primary, only initiator really for T-Show. This might be the game-ending push. Omni Knight is back. Terrence does need that morph into ally right about now. Does get hit with that sheep stick though, as Tekka's going to jump right into the middle of the fight, but the split is out already. The ghosts are out already. Can't really do anything proactive here. They'll try to get into Costa. That's Satanic. Not doing enough for the Gyrocopter, though we will finally find some time to lifesteal some health back. It's ADR who's being ignored in the front lines. His ghosts are shredding the racks, and now they've lifted up the Morphling. Lots of damage. Terrence still alive. Will get out to safety. Grabs a Pugna morph for some reason. I don't know why, but they will be able to take the range racks. No, the ghosts are lazy. They're just swarming, but not hitting. Another Elder Titan Spirit is out. And DP, if he has another BKB, she will just book it. By the way, I completely forgot that Elder Titan has Natural Order. I didn't mention this. Natural Order means that Morphling has 48 armor. He actually has 0, so like actually 0 armor. Literally 0 armor, so you gotta remember Natural Order is a thing. It's gonna be huge for the Death Prophet. This is physical damage from Exorcism. Gyrocopter doesn't really have all that much damage. I mean, until he gets a butterfly, but huge for him as well. I failed to mention that. What a scrub caster I am. This is range racks, picked off by random illusion rune gyrocopters. How heroic are these two illusions? Okay, not heroic enough. That's unfortunate. They're gonna find the Rubik. He is gonna get the lift up. Sheepstick is there with the rockets. Although they really do need their Death Prophet right now. Costa's doing what he can with the Flak Cannon, but not enough damage to actually get any kills here. Man, he takes a huge beating from that. But with a life drain, can still maybe stick around. Terrence is caught right now. This Morphling in trouble, still in Omni Knight form, is going to have to wait for him out with a huge Epicenter coming in. Can they burst down this Gyrocopter? He's still alive right now, and he's not going to die. In fact, gets the kill on the Sand King. Now they're pushing forward with Death Prophet incoming. She's going to jump right on top of that Pugna. Yule Scepter will not save you here. 2 heroes get stomped in the background. The Bane stuck on the high ground. Earth Splitter will crack him in. As Terrence is going to try to cheese out Costa, will grab the kill there, and is going to have to just get... Oh my god, he just got annihilated. That Natural Order just crushed him. Holy crap. You're not supposed to be killed off by an ET and a Brewmaster like that. That's not supposed to happen. Unless you have Natural Order. SG Esports are going to claim victory here. And yeah, how is Exorcism always up? It's a good question. It's an easy answer as well. Octarine Core is a real item. It's a real item. T-Show, they put up a decent fight. Although I do think it's really this game plan that I mentioned earlier that really costed them a lot. Is the fact that they didn't have initiation enough to take late game. And they had so much early game power that just fell off. Like, did you see what Pugna did in the late game? I didn't, because he didn't do anything. Tekka tried his best. He was a distraction. Had Ags. I didn't even realize. Like, you should be able to realize that stuff. But a late game Omni Knight is something that you end up in. It's not something you aim for. And that is going to be SG Esports winning game 1 here over T-Show. Guys, I'm Mike Loris. I remembered Natural Order, Armor, Reduction. And I'll be right back for game 2. You don't want to miss it, guys.